Yeah, a little bit. I think my process was a little bit different to Jake's. I think he knew a little bit younger, and was more accepting of who he was at a younger age. I think the environment I grew up in was probably not as conducive to really embracing who I was. I was quite confused. I mean, I looked around and didn't really see anyone who I resonated with. So it left me quite confused. So I think for my process, it was a little bit different. Like I said, he was a lot more comfortable with who he was at a younger age. So, but obviously, there's parts of his journey, similarly with Josh Cavallo's as well, which resonate with me, and I'm delighted to be just be a part of that, and for them to have that liberation to kind of live their truth.
And I have to say, when I was watching it, I thought to myself, gosh, he's only young. I hope he's getting the support and the protection that he needs. We know what Twitter storms are like. We know what the social media is like. So actually, my heart went out. I personally think, well, what does it matter? I'm live and let live. Do you need to say these things now? So I guess there's those two points to you. Do you need to say it? And will he have that protection that he needs from being sort of bold, as it were, and coming out?
Well, firstly, I'm quite passionate about this. When people say, does it matter? It really does matter a lot. Because the reality of it is, some people, especially the younger generation, they think that they're better off dead than for people to know who they really are. So, first and foremost, it saves lives. It gives hope and inspiration to people who, can look at somebody now in a position of responsibility, who's in the public eye, and who they can look at and say, he's like me, or, I can resonate with him, or I understand him. So, yeah, it does matter. There's been so few examples of it. So, I mean, a lot of people are indifferent about it. A lot of people think it shouldn't be mentioned, but the reality of it is the statistics don't lie. There's so few footballers and athletes in general, but just footballers who have come out that, it does matter. Because if it didn't matter, then, we would have a lot more openly gay athletes, especially footballers. So, yeah, in answer to the first part, I think it does matter, especially for the younger generation. And the second part, obviously, I think the social media companies are doing a better job now in protecting people who are in vulnerable positions, like Jake coming out. We can I helped, before he came out, put some blocks on his social media. Obviously, going through that process myself, I kind of understood some of the things that may or may not come to him, and similar with Josh as well. So a little bit more experience now for some of the bigger social media companies to kind of understand how to handle that process and coming out. Obviously, in the stadium's a little bit of a different story. It's kind of an unknown, right? He's kind of in new waters, really. But on a social media aspect, a lot of that can be taken care of now.
Out to Jake to help him.
What was that, sorry?
So did you reach out to Jake to help him?
Yeah. So, we spoke briefly before he'd come out, and I just kind of said to him, obviously, I'd offered my support, and for anything he needed, I was around. But, more importantly, I wanted to make sure for him that there was these social media restrictions put in place, just certain words, emojis, and things that, obviously, from my experience coming out, I was aware of what may come for him. So, along with Meta, actually, I'm in quite close contact with them as a community partner. They're quite proactive in being able to put some of these blocks on. So we set that up for him and just made sure that process for him was just as wholesome as it could be when he was coming out, just to protect him a little bit, because obviously it's an overwhelming thing anyway, right? So I wanted to make it just as seamless as possible.